back. This is Kia Vancouver's Soccer Talk on AM 650. Now broadcasting from the Barber & Co. studios. Here's your host, Tyler Green.
Welcome back to Kia Vancouver's Soccer Talk second half kickoff, brought to you by Global Scarves, producing soccer scarves for over 40 years. Get scarves for your local club, organization, school at globalscarves.com. That's globalscarves.com. Good evening. My name's Tyler Green. We'll talk to expert physios David Sandals in just a few minutes, live from Brazil. Lots of news in Brazil on the injury front, so we'll talk about that with regards to the World Cup in just a minute. But first, let's check out a team whose World Cup has ended this weekend, and they're heading home in the full 90.
This is the Full 90 on Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk, with all the info you need for the countries playing in Brazil.
This Belgium profile is presented by findaproperty.ca. The USA were difficult opponents for the Belgians in a round of 16 matchup that saw it go scoreless through the first 90 minutes of play. Extra time saw Belgium score 2 goals in the 93rd and 105th minutes of play to give the Belgians an advantage. The US would get 1 goal back 2 minutes later to set up an exciting final 10 minutes of extra time. But the Americans were unable to find the equalizer, meaning the Red Devils advanced with a 2-1 victory and a date with Argentina in the quarterfinals. The dark horses of the tournament weren't able to live up to some expectations, losing to Argentina in the quarterfinals. The Belgians did, however, make history as a national team by progressing to the quarterfinals, the furthest the country have advanced in a World Cup tournament. That Belgium profile was presented by findaproperty.ca. Whether you're buying or selling a new home, Kevin O'Toole of findaproperty.ca has you well marked. Visit findaproperty.ca to find your perfect home. Kevin O'Toole, licensed realtor for Prudential Sussex Realty. Online at findaproperty.ca.
And time now for the injury report, brought to you by Expert Physio in Burnaby, online at expertphysio.ca. Joining us on the program, as he does each and every week, is Expert Physio's David Sandals. And David, let's start with the biggest news that the World Cup has seen on the injury front, and that is Neymar out with a fractured vertebrae. I know with back and spinal injuries, it's always a serious matter, but this could also affect his club team. So I guess the goofy question is, like, how serious is this injury exactly?
Well, in the long term, not too serious. The spinous process of a lumbar vertebrae is just a little bit of bone that sticks out. There's a lot of ligaments and muscles attached to that piece of bone, which A, will make it hurt when you're active, but B, also will basically hold it in place. So unlikely he'll have an enormous amount of casting or anything like that. He may be in a back brace of some kind for a week or two till the pain settles down, and then he'll just have to wait until the scans show that it's healed. I mean, I do know of a professional rugby player that actually played 3 months with this injury with a lot of stiffness and back pain, and didn't know he'd broken it until he had a scan into the season. So, it isn't something that is going to really affect him in the future, I don't think. Because once it's healed, the pain will go away, and he'll be back to full function.
Obviously, a big blow to Brazil and their chances to lift the World Cup trophy. You're at Ground Zero. You're in Brazil. How are the Brazilian people handling the news?
Well, they're not happy. This is their talisman. I mean, when you're walking around Rio de Janeiro, you see a lot of yellow shirts. And more than half of those shirts have number 10, Neymar, on the back. He is the talisman for this team, no question about it. He is the guy that winning the World Cup really rested on his shoulders as far as the Brazilian public were concerned. I've talked to a lot of Brazilians in the last day, and in fact, as the news was coming through last night, I was at a Brazilian family barbecue at a place called Niterói, which is across Costa Bay from Vancouver. A long story about how we got there, but it was a heck of an experience. And the news started to filter through. They all saw him carried off, of course. That it wasn't just a sort of temporary thing. That he was going to be out of the World Cup, but before he left, and you can visibly see that there were concerns not just for their talisman, but also for their World Cup hopes. And now I think they're sort of hoping they can just sort of get through and prevent the other team from scoring and maybe sneak a goal a little bit like Costa Rica tried to do today. The Dutch, though, they are just so mentally strong for this World Cup. They were absolutely unbelievable. And for that, we were in the fan zone in Rio de Janeiro amid a sea of orange, wearing orange ourselves. And it was a pretty nervy and long game for the Dutch, I think. There was a lot of nail biting, but the team always looked like strong, I thought. I don't know what it looked like from your point of view, but they got through, and they got through in style by bringing out the goalkeeper at the last minute and him making 2 saves. Amazing stuff.
Definitely. And meanwhile, that Holland team, that Dutch team, is going to take on Argentina, who there are some doubts about Angel Di Maria and whether he or not he's going to be able to play in that semifinal matchup. What are you hearing in Brazil about Di Maria?
Well, not too much. The Argentinians are resting their hopes on a scan that they're going to do, by the sound of it, Sunday. Tomorrow they're going to assess his injury. From what I saw on the field, I mean, he there was no contact or anything. He went to he took a hard shot, which hit the defender, and immediately you could see he kind of put his hand down the top of his thigh, in front of his hip there. And then shortly after that, decided to lay down on the ground until he got some attention. And clearly, it was bad enough that he was unable to continue. So we'd expect that to be what we call a grade true strain of his what's called the rectus femoris muscle. It's a long muscle, crosses 2 joints, and it's typically one that can be torn when you strike the ball hard. Again, we talked about this in the past, but the pelvis and having good stability in the pelvis, having the pelvis loose and moving well is important. And one of the things that contributes to these kind of injuries is some problem there. So, whether the Argentinians will be evaluating that or whether it's something they missed before he played, I don't know. However, I'm not expecting to see him playing against the Dutch team this coming Wednesday.
Now, we look at the Neymar injury, we look at some of the head collisions that have happened and some of the injuries that have happened when guys are going in for aerial battles, and that's something that we're seeing more and more of, that guys are getting hurt when they're colliding midair, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And when this happened to Neymar, I started to think about what I've seen over the last 3 weeks with regard to players getting injured, and the players. It's an area that I don't think is refereed very well, and the competitiveness and the athleticism of these players is quite amazing. And when they rise in the air at speed, collisions are occurring. Whether there's intent or not intent, there's certainly intent to get the ball and get there first. I think it's maybe a problem, and it may be something that might have to be addressed at some point as far as professional soccer is concerned. Just the way the aerial battle, shall we say, is refereed, because it certainly seems to be the area where the players are getting injured the most.
All right, David, a week left in this tournament. What have you got planned over the next week here?
Well, actually, going to take a deep breath and get a couple of days off. We're heading down the coast to a place called Paraty. It's a small, old there's a little port where the gold used to get exported to the Portuguese back in the 1600s. Famous area for pirates. And we're heading down there just to relax a little bit, get out of the city. This is a very, very big, very, very busy, crowded city. And it's been very exciting, but it'll be nice to get away from all the noise and everything else. So that was one of the things about the party yesterday. I mean, it was loud. These people like to have their music turned up loud, and they like to party. We had a great time. As far as the World Cup, we'll be back for the Brazilian game. They've obviously got their problems with the Neymar injury and, of course, their captain being suspended. As far as the other injuries are concerned, the other teams are looking pretty strong. The Germans, they lost Mustafi. They're right back. But Mertesacker, although he missed a game and there was some speculation about him being injured, they said he had a slight flu and he'll be back. Fair is back for Holland. We saw him play yesterday or today, your time, I guess. Nigel de Jong, they lost him, but they've got a lot of strength in midfield. De Guzman, I think he played the first 2 games for them, hasn't played since. They're still holding him. So the Germans too, they look to be strong injury-wise. The Argentinians are a little bit more a problem. They've lost Di Maria by the look of it now. At least that's my expectation. And I think their striker, Sergio Aguero, he's not back yet, and whether they'll get him back in time for the semifinal, I think remains to be seen.
Well, David, appreciate it. Enjoy the week, and we will talk to you next Saturday night again.
Yeah, Saturday night will be the night before the final. We'll know who's third place by then. So look forward to talking to you. And that's great news, the Whitecaps beating Shell. It's also great news scoring and holding on. I love those 1-0 wins when teams show it's my favorite win when I was coaching. It shows resilience for a team, and it's great to see the Whitecaps finding that.
Perfect. Well, thanks, David, and we'll talk to you again next Saturday.
Okay. Ciao. Bye for now.
That was David Sandals, physiotherapist at Expert Physio, down in Brazil for the World Cup and giving us all the latest news from Brazil on the injury front. And, of course, if you've got an injury, if you care about your health, why not work with the experts? Convenient clinics in Burnaby Heights and at 8 Rinks. For more information on the services they provide, visit expertphysio.ca. Expert Physio, getting you back to full health. Visit them today at expertphysio.ca. Tonight's Barber Poll brought to you by Barber & Co. Get the authentic straight razor shave or a haircut, whatever you need. Hit up barberandco.ca. How do you feel about Whitecaps youngster, Winnipeg-born Marco Bustos opting to go to Chile U20 camp? Does it make you feel horrible? Does it make you feel okay about it? You can weigh in at Soccer Talk at Soccer Talk 650. Tyler Green, FC as well. Let us know what you think. Peter T, the Barca Show, saying whatever the outcome is, it is his decision and his career. Again, you can weigh in at Soccer Talk 650 at Tyler Green, FC. Some other thoughts, of course, coming up. We'll let you know what other people have to say on Twitter on the poll question. But right now, only at Kia Vancouver, free lifetime car washes, oil changes, and get this, free lifetime airport shuttle and parking, Southwest Marine Drive at Yukon. Quick timeout. We said it would be a little bit ago, but Around the Globe is up next here on Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk.
Time now for the BC Soccer Profile, showcasing special achievements and success stories from throughout the province. Less than 1 year to a greater goal, Canada has unveiled yet another countdown clock on the road to the FIFA Women's World Cup Canada 2015. The newest clock in Moncton joins the countdown clocks in Montreal, Ottawa, Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Vancouver. The clock in Vancouver is located at Terry Fox Plaza outside BC Place Stadium. It stands more than 3 meters tall and is 1.2 meters wide. The clock also features the competition logo and the official slogan, "To a Greater Goal." For more information on the Vancouver Countdown Clock and the matches to be held at BC Place for the FIFA Women's World Cup Canada 2015, visit bcsoccer.net. That's bcsoccer.net.
This is Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk on AM 650. Follow us on Twitter at Soccer Talk 650 and at Tyler Green FC.
Pain or injury slowing you down? Take it to the choice of many top athletes, Expert Physio. Serving the Lower Mainland for over 35 years, the team at Expert Physio is dedicated to individualized care with specialized services such as orthotics, acupuncture, IMS, plus dizziness, pelvic floor, and certified hand therapies. Over 300 physicians referred to Expert Physio last year, and 100% of patients surveyed said they'd choose Expert Physio again. You're in good hands with Expert Physio. Burnaby Heights or at 8 Rinks, expertphysio.ca.
What's it like to score in the beautiful game? Come to Kia Vancouver before July 13th and score the best price during Kia's 2014 FIFA World Cup sales event. Plus 0% financing for 84 months and up to $4,000 in cash bonuses on select models. And only at Kia Vancouver, score free lifetime car washes, free lifetime oil changes, free lifetime airport shuttle and parking, and always service with a smile. Kia Vancouver, the power to surprise at KiaVancouver.com and on Southwest Marine Drive at Yukon.
It was true Italy. Every weekend, the Dussault family gathered to share laughter and plates of homemade pasta. So when the Dussault brothers came to Canada, rather than become homesick for the good times, they opened Dussault's on Granville Island. A generation later, the Dussauts are still creating authentic, home-style Italian pasta and sauce from natural ingredients. Great carbs and quick, healthy meals. Official pasta of the Vancouver Canucks and Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Look for Dussault's fresh pasta and sauce at your local grocery store. Visit Dussault's, DUSOS.com.
The Vancouver Street Soccer League isn't out to change the world. Just give the men and women in our homeless communities a chance to play soccer. Regardless of skill, everyone's included in practices and matches with teams from UBC, the Vancouver Police Department, the Vancouver Mayor's Office, and more. The focus is fun, but it builds skill and confidence, and that can change someone's world. Find out more at vancouverstreetsoccer.com.
This message fueled by Dussault's fresh pasta and sauce. Proud to support community on and off the pitch.
All-time favorites. AM 650 is CISL Vancouver. And now, it's Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk on AM 650. Now broadcasting from the Barber & Co. studios. Here's your host, Tyler Gray.
Whitecaps at BC Place against Seattle tonight, winning 1-0. We'll talk about that in depth with Simon Fudge at 11:30 this evening. Plus hear from head coach Carl Robinson and the goal scorer Sebastian Fernandez in the second half of the program. Around the globe in a second, but let's check out a team that are off to the semifinals of the World Cup in the full 90.
This is the Full 90 on Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk, with all the info you need for the countries playing in Brazil.
This Brazil profile is presented by Accent Inns. Brazil faced a difficult round of 16 opponent in Chile in order to make it to the quarterfinals. David Luiz scored for Brazil in the 18th minute before Chile equalized with a goal from Alexis Sanchez in the 32nd minute. That would be all the scoring through regular and extra time, meaning that the match was to be decided on penalties. Brazil eventually won 3-2 on penalty kicks and moved on to face Colombia in the quarters. Brazil was able to get on the scoreboard early after a corner kick goal from Thiago Silva, while David Luiz sealed it for Brazil with a free kick goal in the 68th minute. The tournament hosts will now face Germany on Tuesday in the World Cup semi-finals, but to do so without Neymar, who was hospitalized after the match with a fractured vertebrae. Neymar has 4 goals in the tournament so far. That Brazil profile is presented by Accent Inns, with locations in Victoria, Burnaby, Kelowna, Kamloops, and the Vancouver Airport. Accent Inns is the place to stay in BC. Accent Inns is different, in a good way. Go to accentins.com to book.
Let's get the latest headlines from around the globe, taking a look at the news, notes, and rumors from around the globe. Neil and the team at Uniglobe One Travel have you covered. Call 604-677-1495. The Sunday Mirror reporting Liverpool will bank about £75.5 million from 27-year-old Uruguay striker Luis Suarez move to Barcelona. Meanwhile, the Sunday Express saying that Liverpool are going to spend some of that money. Taking a look at Seattle Sounders defender DeAndre Yedlin, who's 20, with a on trial and then a look at a permanent move. Meanwhile, former Chelsea midfielder Frank Lampard, 36-year-old Frank Lampard, poised to announce he will sign for New York City FC sometime this week. That, according to the Daily Star. That was a look at around the globe with Uniglobe One Travel. Need travel help? Trip to Europe? Perhaps down to the Seattle for a Cascadia match. Portland All-Star Game. A lot of trips down the I-5. Neil has you covered. Whatever you need, 604-677-1495. That's 604-677-1495. Only at Kia Vancouver. Get an extra $500 discount if you tell them Tyler from Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk sent you. Just mention my name. Save 500 big ones. KiaVancouver.com, 396 Southwest Marine Drive. Sebastian Fernandez, and a profile of whom Brazil will be playing in the semis next.
Follow us on Twitter at Soccer Talk 650 and at Tyler Green FC. This is Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk on AM 650.
The Donnelly Group has soccer fever, so they're throwing open the doors to 9 of their famous public houses at 9 a.m. for all 64 matches in Brazil. Come watch the game live. Brunch is served at every venue, and there are 540 Carlsbergs, so wake up with soccer, Samba style, and make sure you're at one of these Donnelly Group establishments. The Blackbird, the Butcher and Bullock, Tavern, the New Oxford, Library Square, Cinema, the Bimini, Lamplighter, or 3 Brits. Get details at donnellygroup.ca.
Whether playing soccer on this continent or football on every other, Umbro is the name worn by top players and teams worldwide. Those same uniforms are available for your team or club at Umbro.com. Umbro, proud to be the official supplier of Canada's men's and women's national teams, is celebrating 90 years of expertise in the game. If you want your club to play like the pros, dress them like the pros at Umbro.com. Umbro, the heart and soul of football.
Not that your stylist at the salon isn't doing a good job, but man, you deserve the big red leather barber chair experience of Barber & Co. Here's how it works. Go to barberandco.ca. Book your appointment at one of the 4 barbershops in Gastown, Yaletown, the Financial District, or Cambie and 18th. You can just walk in, too, and get your hair cut, hot shave, buzz cut, fade, or beard trim experience. A great wedding party idea, too. barberandco.ca.
What's it like to score in the beautiful game? Come to Kia Vancouver before July 13th and score the best price during Kia's 2014 FIFA World Cup sales event. Plus 0% financing for 84 months and up to $4,000 in cash bonuses on select models. And only at Kia Vancouver, score free lifetime car washes, free lifetime oil changes, free lifetime airport shuttle and parking, and always service with a smile. Kia Vancouver, the power to surprise at KiaVancouver.com and on Southwest Marine Drive at Yukon.
The 2014 season of EA Sports BC Soccer Premier League. Welcome to the front lines of the game. Welcome to the big league. The one that provides an elevated level of competition for high-performance players within BC and contributes to player development for the Canadian national team and professional opportunities here and abroad. This is where you're going to see the top youth players in action. Catch some of the most intense soccer in the province. EA Sports BC Soccer Premier League. For information and upcoming games, check out bcsoccer.net.
Planet Bingo, the only place in the Lower Mainland with full-time continuous bingo.
Go for big jackpots in a warm, welcoming atmosphere. Play electronic or traditional paper bingo. Join their Players Club, the Power Player program, and receive $5 in free play. Check jackpots and upcoming events at planetbingo.ca. Open 7 days a week, transit accessible with free parking. Main and 11th in Vancouver. Planet Bingo. Have fun. Win big. Must be 19 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sets.
Back. This is Kia Vancouver's Soccer Talk on AM 650. Now broadcasting from the Barber & Co. studios. Here's your host, Tyler Green.
Tyler Green in with you. Simon Fudge at BC Place will join us in a few minutes to talk Caps and Sounders tonight. Got the latest from Brazil in the full 90. And now, how about we hear about the team that they are matched up against? Germany.
This is the full 90 on Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk, with all the info you need for the countries playing in Brazil.
This Germany profile is presented by The Pint. It took Germany extra time against Algeria to end the pesky African nation's run. Goals in the 92nd and 120th minutes were enough to see off a late Algerian goal and seal the victory for Germany. The Germans moved on from the round of 16 to face France, who they famously beat in 1982 in what was regarded as one of the best World Cup matches in history. Mats Hummels scored in the 13th minute to give the Germans an early lead. Numerous saves from German goalkeeper Manuel Neuer kept the French at bay, and the lone goal was all Germany needed to advance to the World Cup semi-finals. That Germany profile was presented by The Pint, showing every World Cup match. The Pint boasts over 75 TVs and offers pitchers of Bud and Bud Light for $15.75. The Pint is Vancouver's largest sports bar. To make a booking, email vancouver@thepint.ca.
And speaking of the World Cup, the Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk World Cup bracket. It's getting down to crunch time. Just a few matches remaining, and Pavel Marianek, 301 points. He's got Brazil and Argentina in the final. He's sitting in top spot right now. Very good chance of claiming the prize. Michael McLeod, 289. He's got Brazil and Spain in the final, so he's a little bit iffy there. He's in second spot. 288, just 1 point behind. Andy Hutchins got Brazil and Argentina in the final as well. And Brian Draheim, he's got 287. He's got Germany and Argentina in the final. He's in fourth spot. A lot of people just under that. Could go either way. It's going to be interesting to see how the bracket unfolds here over the next week or so, and we'll give you all the updates. Top three spots win prizes. The grand prize, of course, a trip or a stay at the Accent Inns, just one of our sponsor, of course, Accent Inns, the Donnelly Group, findaproperty.ca, Kia Vancouver, BC Soccer, Barber & Co., Korecki Real Estate Services, Global Scarves, and The Pint. Sebastian Fernandez, he scored a goal tonight in the Whitecaps Sounders game, the lone goal, and he spoke to the media after the game, talking a little bit about how he's lucky from outside the 18-yard box.
Tú marca goles para afuera de penal y no marca gol dentro de penal.
Intento probar de larga distancia y bueno, a veces tengo la suerte de que sea gol y a veces se va afuera, pero bueno, hoy por suerte entró.
There you go. There you go. He says that he got a little bit lucky outside the box. Hopefully he's also went on to say he hopes he gets lucky inside the box as well. That's what he said. If you're looking for somewhere to watch Whitecaps matches, like the one tonight, or perhaps sell out if you don't get a ticket, hey, watch it at The Pint. The Pint is Vancouver's largest sports bar, boosting great daily food and drink specials. And not only is it your place to go watch the Caps, it's also the headquarters for the World Cup, offering $15.75 pitchers of Bud and Bud Light. The Pint is Germany House, who play on Tuesday against Brazil in the semifinals. It's going to be a great spot to watch the game on Tuesday. But of course, no matter which country you're supporting, you won't miss any of the action on over 75 TVs throughout the Pint. To make a booking, email vancouver@thepint.ca. We're going to switch gears, talk Whitecaps some more with Simon Fudge. Before we do that, it's the BC Soccer Bulletin.
Here's what's happening throughout the province with the BC Soccer Bulletin. The Youth Provincial Championships are now underway, including the Provincial Premier Cup hosted by Fraser Valley FC at McLeod Athletic Park, the Youth Provincial A Cup at Burnaby Lake Sports Complex July 3rd to 6th, the Youth Girls Provincial B Cup, which is hosted by Chilliwack FC at Townsend Park and Exhibition Grandstand, and the Les Sinnott Memorial Boys Provincial Cup hosted by the Richmond Soccer Association at Hugh Boyd Park and Minaroo Oval. For more information on the Youth Provincial Championships, visit bcsoccer.net. If you are interested in becoming a referee, BC Soccer is hosting referee clinics throughout the province in the month of July. Find out more and sign up for these clinics at refcenter.com/BC. That was the BC Soccer Bulletin. To find out more information about these events and on how to become more involved with the beautiful game, visit bcsoccer.net.
This is Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk on AM 650.
Follow us on Twitter at Soccer Talk 650 and at Tyler Green FC.
Whether playing soccer on this continent or football on every other, Umbro is the name worn by top players and teams worldwide. Those same uniforms are available for your team or club at Umbro.com. Umbro, proud to be the official supplier of Canada's men's and women's national teams, is celebrating 90 years of expertise in the game. If you want your club to play like the pros, dress them like the pros at Umbro.com. Umbro, the heart and soul of football.
The 2014 season of EA Sports BC Soccer Premier League. Welcome to the front lines of the game. Welcome to the Big League. The one that provides an elevated level of competition for high-performance players within BC and contributes to player development for the Canadian national team and professional opportunities here and abroad. This is where you're going to see the top youth players in action. Catch some of the most intense soccer in the province. EA Sports BC Soccer Premier League. For information and upcoming games, check out bcsoccer.net.
What's it like to score in the beautiful game? Come to Kia Vancouver before July 13th and score the best price during Kia's 2014 FIFA World Cup sales event. Plus 0% financing for 84 months and up to $4,000 in cash bonuses on select models. And only at Kia Vancouver, score free lifetime car washes, free lifetime oil changes, free lifetime airport shuttle and parking, and always service with a smile. Kia Vancouver, the power to surprise at KiaVancouver.com and on Southwest Marine Drive at Yukon.
Vancouver Street Soccer League is the beautiful game at its finest. Teams of men and women who are homeless, have recently been homeless, or are at risk for homelessness get together to train and play matches. It's great fun that builds skill and confidence, and the league sent players to 4 consecutive Homeless World Cups in Milan, Rio de Janeiro, Paris, Mexico City, and Poland. Find out more at VancouverStreetSoccer.com.
This message fueled by Duso's Fresh Pasta and Sauce, proud to support community on and off the pitch.
Hi, I'm Jack McIver. When a customer comes to our store after shopping around and see what they haven't seen in other appliance stores, washers and dryers, plain and simple. 3 years full guarantee, 5 years guarantee on the motor, 10 years on the transmission, big capacity, much better performance, our professional delivery and installation, all for less than the other guys. And after 50 years in business, McIver's is the best at what we do. McIver's, we're at 610 Southeast Marine Drive. Call 879-5222 or visit us on the net at mcivers.biz.
This is Kia Vancouver's Soccer Talk on AM 650. Now broadcasting from the Barber & Co. studios. Here's your host, Tyler Gray.
Whitecaps chat with Simon Fudge in just a minute. Plus, we'll hear from head coach Carl Robinson. But first, another squad knocked out of the World Cup. It was France. Martin from Barber & Co. shedding a tear or two over that one. Didn't really want to talk a lot yesterday. We'll take a listen at the French in the full 90.
This is the full 90 on Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk, with all the info you need for the countries playing in Brazil.
This France profile is presented by Barber & Co. France entered the round of 16 against Nigeria and left it until the 79th minute when Paul Pogba scored to give the French the lead. The Nigerians gave up an own goal in the 90 plus 2 minutes to claim the victory and move on to the quarterfinals against a tough German side. France and Germany famously played in the 1982 World Cup semifinals in Spain, which Germany won on penalties. Germany scored early in the 13th minute and took the lead into the halftime break. The French had numerous chances in the second half, including a superb last-second strike from Karim Benzema, but nothing would beat the German goalkeeper. The final 1-0 scoreline saw the French eliminated from the World Cup. That France profile was presented by Barber & Co. Whether it's a buzz cut, fade, or hot shave, Barber & Co. has the right cut for you. Book an appointment or walk in at one of their 4 locations in Gastown, Yaletown, the Financial District, or at Cambie and 18th. Visit barberandco.ca.
I was just thinking, I'm actually going to go into Barber & Co. and see Martin on Tuesday and get the haircut. And I'll be wearing a Germany jersey because I'm going to go watch the game, likely at the Pint, Germany House, after that. But I was just thinking, I'm glad I'm not getting the straight razor shave. That could be very dangerous, knowing that Germany knocked out France, Martin's team, who's going to be cutting my hair. And, I might have to rethink my plan for Tuesday night. Don't forget, right now, score the best price during Kia's 2014 FIFA World Cup sales event, plus get 0% financing for 84 months and up to $4,000 in cash bonuses on select models. Kia Vancouver, 396 Southwest Marine Drive, KiaVancouver.com. He's back with us. It is none other than Simon Fudge, Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk contributor and Goal.com writer. Simon, your thoughts on a Whitecaps Sounders match tonight at BC Place that the Whitecaps picked up a 1-0 victory?
Really good performance tonight, I thought. I mean, from the minute they started, the tempo and the energy that I saw from them, and especially in the first half, was almost right back to what we've been accustomed to them doing, playing most of the season. And you just could tell they were a side that wanted to make up for the way they looked in the past two games, and almost we were saying to all of us watching, be it a fan or media alike, that wasn't us, and this is much more how we want to play. And the goal came early. It was a fine strike by Fernandez. I'm quite amazed, considering of just having a look that all three of his goals that he scored this season have all been long-range efforts, and that the scouting reports that opposing teams would have had on him is that if he gets an opportunity for long distance, he's going to crack it. And sure enough, he got that space and time to do it again tonight, and that all made the difference in the end. But it was much better, and also there was also a lot of encouragement by the way they were able to see the game out. It felt like almost a very comfortable 1-0 victory in the end. And in many ways, I was disappointed in Seattle's reserve players, really. I mean, they looked under strength on paper, and in the end, they actually looked under strength on the pitch tonight.
You look at that goal, and Sebastian Fernandez talked about that he's feels that he's getting a little bit lucky outside the box, and hopefully he can, said that he hopes to be able to get something inside the box at some point and score a goal from inside the 18. But also when you look at Stefan Fry's positioning on that, he looked like he got, caught quite flat-footed and just almost like he didn't think he was going to actually take a shot at that angle, even though it was curling away from him anyway. It would have been very difficult for him to save either way, but looked a little bit like he got caught flat-footed. Yeah, well, my initial reaction from where I stood when I saw it was that the way the ball moved, I actually thought there was a deflection. Might have been, let's say, off Chad Marshall when it was going in, and so my initial thought was, okay, it's taken some redirection that's, as you say, flat-footed Fry and found the back of the net. But in the reality, it was just the way he struck it and how he was really able to get the ball to move that just caught him wrong. It was actually a tremendous strike, but just one in which he caught it just in a certain way, and which made it move in a certain direction and find the back of the net. I mean, this is part of what Fernandez Arsenal brings to the table, and certainly he'll take a side of goal if he gets that opportunity, even if it's a little bit further out than that. I mean, he certainly did it against Salt Lake earlier this season. So again, it surprises me that he's been able to pull it off for a third time in the league this year, when it's, I think, been made fully aware that he does have a real habit and a tendency to eye up having to strike a goal from distance. We'll hear from Carl Robinson talking about Erik Hurtado in just a second here, but your thoughts on Hurtado. Another game, and didn't get the goal, but he looked a little bit better tonight, didn't he? He did. Again, like all the players on the pitch, he had more energy and more purpose about him. He certainly was much better in terms of keeping the ball. He did frustrate at times in the sense that he was trying to overplay a little bit. I thought both him and Kekuta Manneh at times when they were trying to dribble their way through the opposition a little bit too much and maybe not try and do the simpler thing of once they got themselves in a dangerous position, or doing the really good thing of winning the ball, turning, getting into space, maybe playing it off or having to strike a goal, or making that next decision didn't seem to end up really being the right one that Hurtado ended up making. Otherwise, if it was, he too could have found the score sheet tonight, but he was much, much better this evening. Carl Robinson spoke post-match about Erik Hurtado and his play this evening against the Seattle Sounders.
I thought tonight he was very, very good. I thought he was positive. His hold-up play in the first half was excellent, and he played with confidence today. I don't think he played with as much confidence as he should have in the last two games, and it wasn't just him. It was a number of players, but today was the Erik that we saw in the 5 previous games when he got his goals. He didn't get the goal today, but like I said, his all-round work ethic was phenomenal.
And Simon, Tyler Green, Simon Fudge on Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk here on AM 650 Radio. Talking about a Whitecaps 1-0 victory over the Seattle Sounders at BC Place earlier tonight. They get that nil scoreline for Seattle, who obviously were under strength with some of their players that returning from the World Cup. Were you surprised that guys like Clint Dempsey didn't play, like Yedlin didn't, were not sort of a part of this team? Because you look at a team like Real Salt Lake, and it was literally 36 hours and full 90 minutes for the likes of Beckerman, for the likes of Raimondo.
Yeah, well, the difference there, of course, is that both of those players weren't involved in the USA's last game, so you could see how they ended up playing for Salt Lake last night. I was a little more surprised by Michael Bradley getting 60 minutes in today with Toronto FC in their defeat, in their loss at home.
Well, some would argue that Michael Bradley didn't really play at the World Cup, so.
Well, okay. We could certainly go on another debate on that at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, it did surprise me a little bit. I mean, I spoke to the folks here, the Seattle folks here, and they sort of felt that it probably was best that they gave both Yedlin and Dempsey at least a week off now, and sort of maybe asking them to play tonight, then giving them 2 days off, and then maybe asking them to play again. They just felt just give them the time off, and then they'll come back into the fold in about a week's time. I guess there could be an argument that could be said that it was a surprise to not play them, but they're sitting in such a comfortable position in the league, and it had to be looked at as an opportunity for Sigi Schmidt to have a look at some of these other players that he had in his side, including the likes of the midfielders that he played tonight, the young Ugandan by the name of Michael Azira, who I wasn't terribly impressed with, but he gave the likes of others like Papa and so forth a run, and he wanted to probably have a see of what kind of depth he had. But in the end, they did look like they were almost a second-string type side out there, because they failed to really have the kind of impact on the game that you would expect a Seattle side to have, and also not having Obafemi Martins because of a bit of a hamstring problem, from what I understand as well. It didn't hurt, and of course Pineda and Alonso were both suspended. So, it was probably one of these games where, yes, it was a derby match, but it gave Sigi Schmidt a chance to play some other players, have a good look at them, and see if they can be part of the mix going forward. And I would say arguably tonight they didn't really give enough that would make him think that they would take over a lot of the players that we're missing this evening.
You're listening to Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk here on AM 650 Radio in Vancouver, am650radio.com. My name's Tyler Green. Simon Fudge joining us here as he does each and every week. Again, we'll be doing this on the phone lines next week, Simon. But the center back pairing, Andy O'Brien a little bit injured, a little bit of a rest. Jada Merritt obviously injured. It was a center back pairing of Johnny Leverone, Carlisle Mitchell. Carl Robinson spoke post-match about that center back pairing this evening.
Excellent. I thought they were fabulous today. I really did. I thought, it's not easy. We're missing obviously Andy and Jay, and they've been great for us during this early run of the season. So they've come in. Mitch has probably, only played 2 or 3 games. Johnny's 5 or 6. So it was a great challenge for him. And it was, playing against Kenny Cooper and Chad Barrett, it's a very, very physical battle. But I knew they'd cope physically with them, but I wanted the concentration levels to be there, because I don't think they were there on Saturday against Colorado. And, we let ourselves down as a group. I let them down by maybe not setting them up right. But today they were fabulous.
Were they fabulous, Simon? What are your thoughts on the pairing tonight?
The pairing were good tonight. I thought they were much better. They certainly were able to put themselves about. In a lot of ways, I was actually more impressed by the way the team defended as a whole, as a team. I thought Laba looked good tonight in terms of breaking things up at certain intervals as well. I thought he looked like he was back to his best. There were so many players who were back to their best tonight in the way that we are used to seeing them play. Carlisle Mitchell in the second half I'd say throughout the game, but particularly in the second half when he was really called upon to really, win the ball in the air, really made his vertical work to his advantage. He really did get himself on the end of things, and he gave a real important presence of winning things in the box, particularly when Seattle were getting into positions of really whipping some balls into the Vancouver box. They're trying to get back into the game, and did put in some decent deliveries in there at certain intervals after the break. And I thought he was particularly good clearing the ball with his head tonight. He has such a great athletic vertical and getting up above players, and I think he put that to good use tonight, especially in the second half.
And another one of those, like you said, it was Steven Beitashour back on that right side. It was Jordan Harvey on that left side, and really the whole back line was very solidified. Waba in front of him as well. Gershon Kofi, another man-of-the-match performance. One of those things that we need from Gershon Kofi on a more regular basis. We've seen him have man-of-the-match performances before, but he needs to start getting a little bit more consistent, doesn't he?
He does, but he was good tonight. He really did get in the face of Seattle and made things difficult for them. And when he needed to keep the ball, he did a very good job of that. And certainly, as I said, between himself and Laba supporting what looked, as you say, a very stable backline. I tweeted about it earlier. The fact that Beitashour came back in at right back. You add that stability in there, and stability in a backline doesn't just begin and end with what I call the central pillars, your two center backs. It also requires to have two solid fullbacks as well. And you could just immediately see with Beitashour back in that position that you had someone in there that looked that much more comfortable and more capable of knowing what to do in that role than what has been there over the last few games while he was away with Iran. And so that was made a big difference tonight. With Kofi, it was good as well. He has to almost be everywhere and covering a lot of ground. And when he needs to get stuck in, he's got to get stuck in. But also when he wins the ball and keeps it, it's incumbent upon him in the position that he plays to get it in and out of his feet, keep possession, and move things, and then try and move things forward. So he was good tonight. But again, you're right. It needs to be more consistent from him.
Simon, we'll take a quick time out here, let you get ready for your hot fudge segment. So we'll be back with you in just a second. Of course, Sebastian Fernandez, the goal scorer from tonight's game, was the official Whitecaps man of the match. If you're looking for a place to view this year's World Cup, the Pint and the Donnelly Pub locations, including the Blackbird, the Butcher and Bullock, Tavern at the New Oxford, Library Square, Cinema, the Bimini, Lamplighter, or Three Brits, are all perfect options for you to watch the game. The Pint has 1575 pitchers of Bud and Bud Light, and all the Donnelly pubs will be serving up cold Carlsbergs for $5.40. Check them out, thepint.ca, DonnellyGroup.ca, for where to go. Quick timeout, but like we said, we're back in a minute with Hot Fudge.
Follow us on Twitter at Soccer Talk 650 and at Tyler Green FC.
This is Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk on AM 650.
Whether playing soccer on this continent or football on every other, Umbro is the name worn by top players and teams worldwide. Those same uniforms are available for your team or club at Umbro.com. Umbro, proud to be the official supplier of Canada's men's and women's national teams, is celebrating 90 years of expertise in the game. If you want your club to play like the pros, dress them like the pros at Umbro.com. Umbro, the heart and soul of football.
Pain or injury slowing you down? Take it to the choice of many top athletes, Expert Physio. Serving the Lower Mainland for over 35 years, the team at Expert Physio is dedicated to individualized care with specialized services such as orthotics, acupuncture, IMS, plus dizziness, pelvic floor, and certified hand therapies. Over 300 physicians referred to Expert Physio last year, and 100% of patients surveyed said they'd choose Expert Physio again. You're in good hands with Expert Physio. Burnaby Heights or at 8 Rinks, expertphysio.ca.
What's it like to score in the beautiful game? Come to Kia Vancouver before July 13th and score the best price during Kia's 2014 FIFA World Cup sales event. Plus 0% financing for 84 months and up to $4,000 in cash bonuses on select models. And only at Kia Vancouver, score free lifetime car washes, free lifetime oil changes, free lifetime airport shuttle and parking, and always service with a smile. Kia Vancouver, the power to surprise at KiaVancouver.com and on Southwest Marine Drive at Yukon.
It was true Italy. Every weekend, the Dussault family gathered to share laughter and plates of homemade pasta. So when the Dussault brothers came to Canada, rather than become homesick for the good times, they opened Dussault's on Granville Island. A generation later, the Dussauts are still creating authentic, home-style Italian pasta and sauce from natural ingredients. Great carbs and quick, healthy meals. Official pasta of the Vancouver Canucks and Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Look for Dussault's fresh pasta and sauce at your local grocery store. Visit Dussault's, DUSOS.com.
Hi, it's Tom Lucas from Radio Real Estate. Sherry, Bill, and I are busy in the studio every Saturday morning with the show, and we need your help. If you know and understand radio sales and would like to generate a great income, we should chat. Call 604-339-1841, 604-339-1841, and get your radio real estate sales career underway today.
Back. This is Kia Vancouver's Soccer Talk on AM 650. Now broadcasting from the Barber & Co. studios. Here's your host, Tyler Gray.
Right now, score the best price for during Kia's 2014 FIFA World Cup sales event, plus get 0% financing for 84 months and up to $4,000 in cash bonuses on select models. 396 Southwest Marine Drive.
Oh, baby. Hot fudge with Simon Fudge.
Well, here I am at UBC Place doing a bit of work tonight and obviously doing the show on the radio. I have made the decision that if one can afford it, for your office or the office in your home, invest in a leather work chair. I've been sitting in one tonight in one of the undisclosed broadcast booths here at BC Place, and it's been very nice. So if you have the opportunity and you can afford it, invest in a leather work chair.
Thanks, Simon. We'll talk to you next week right here on Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk. Time for the final cut, brought to you by Barber & Co. on Twitter at Barber & Co. for full-service barbershops for your big haircut, hot shave, buzz cut, fade, and beard trim. Get the ultimate barbershop experience. 4 locations to serve you: Gastown, Yaletown, the Financial District, or new location at Cambie and 18th. barberandco.ca for the final cut today. We go to Brandon O'Connor, who retweeted our tweet, and he is picking up a pair of tickets to the Whitecaps Chivas USA match next weekend. Get your tickets at whitecapsfc.com. He also picks up a $25 gift certificate to the Pint for his food, beverage choices, and a Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk scarf. For the crew here at Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk, executive producer Christina, contributor Simon Fudge, producer Dwayne, Dangerous Dwayne Bishop. Special thanks to Thomas Rage and Fred Anko. Thank you for your continued support. My name's Tyler Green. Thanks for listening. You can download the podcast at am650radio.com. We're back next Saturday at 10 right here on AM 650.